Hello everyone, I am back with another update, and just to make another video, which I wasn't really expecting to do another one, but I've noticed that my subscriber count has surpassed 1,000 now, and that blows my mind because I'm not even really making videos anymore. So I kind of felt bad. I'm like, oh my god, there's so many people that are wanting to see more videos, and here I am wanting to make less and less videos. So I figured I probably should make one. And I do have a bit of an update. It's not any good news, of course, but here I am, so. So I think the last video I made was maybe a month ago, maybe 2 months ago now. And I don't remember exactly what that video was about, other than I'm still not making any progress in life. So I guess I'm just going to talk about what's been going on the last couple weeks, because it's been just getting worse. And at this point, I'm just kind of like, whatever. I'm losing the ability to care. And I think I might have lost that ability a while ago, but I do also have some other things to rant about. So I'll be doing, this might be a long video, but I mean, it should make up for the fact that I haven't made any in a while. So let's tackle first the housing situation. I'm getting okay. So let me just say that this is not a good thing. So what I'm saying is going to sound good, but it does not end well. I am getting to the top of the housing rental assistance list, and they told me that I will probably not. I will not qualify to get this voucher because I am living in a place right now, and I own this place, and apparently you don't get rental assistance if you're already living somewhere. It doesn't make any sense to me, because the whole point of rental assistance is to assist the people that don't have a big enough income, and my income is extremely low income. I mean, I'll get more into that, but it's not exactly. But anyway, so they said if you can prove that where you live is uninhabitable, then we might be able to waive the rule and get you in. Basically, they're telling me that I need to hire a professional to tell me that my home is not livable. Because, I mean, there's a lot wrong with this trailer. It's got a leaky roof. It's got mold, it's got water damage, warped flooring, warped ceiling. My ceiling is kind of caving in a little bit in some places. The floors and the walls are warped. My water freezes every winter for like the majority of the winter. My deck is falling apart for the second time. It's just not a place that would sell. If I were to try to sell this, nobody would buy it. Because, I mean, there's visible mold. It's probably not livable, even though I have been living here for 8 years. So, I don't know. Here's the other thing. Like, sure, I could hire an inspector to tell me whether or not this place is inhabitable, but I can't afford that. It's like $400, and if I had that much money, I wouldn't be here. Well, I mean, that's, yeah, whatever, but like, I don't know how they expect me to spend money on hiring an inspector. And here's the other problem. So here's where this does not end well. Even if I were to go into debt and put more on my credit card, getting this inspector to tell me whether or not this place is inhabitable, there's two problems with that. The first problem is, let's say they do say it's uninhabitable and I cannot be here. So they're gonna say, you can't stay here. You need to get out now. And then I'm homeless for real. Like, and I'm not completely at the top of the list for the Section 8 voucher yet. So that means I would literally be homeless until I can get into another place. And I can't do anything if I'm homeless. So I don't want them to kick me out. I don't have my shit all packed yet because I didn't know when I was moving. And so, no, I'm not going to have anybody tell me that I have to get out now. The other problem with that is, let's say they tell me that my trailer is still okay to live in, that means that the Section 8 people would not give me the voucher. I wouldn't get it. I would simply be forced to stay living here. So, that's not all. It gets worse. So then I looked into, okay, screw the Section 8 voucher, let me just see if I can get into a place that is subsidized housing, which is basically where it doesn't go by vouchers, it just goes by your income. So they go by 30% of your income. And at first, I thought, I'm gonna just do that. So then I actually figured out what 30% of my income would be, and that's when my dreams were crushed. 30% of my income is double what I'm paying for income right now. I mean, double what I'm paying for rent right now of my income. I literally can't afford 30%. So then I'm like, okay, now I can't do either one. Now I'm stuck here. I'm literally stuck in a trailer that's probably uninhabitable. And the reason why I can't afford the 30%, which, 30% is basically the national average of what they say you should be able to pay in rent. But those people are not low income. Those people have a lot of money. Those people have full-time jobs. I cannot work. And I'm still waiting for the disability to happen, and that's going to take a long time. So, basically, what it comes down to is I'm stuck here. I am stuck living in this trailer that's falling apart. I can't afford the 30% of the income because most of my money goes towards credit card bills. And I have to pay them. Those are a have to. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Because if you don't pay your credit card minimum statements, you will have, the people coming after you, the creditors coming after you. And I can't have that happen because they'll take away my home, they'll take away my car, they'll take away all of the money that I get from my... Basically what I'm trying to say is, I'm getting tongue-tied here, but they're going to take all of my money rather than most of it, and then I will be screwed. I have to keep paying the minimum balance, and that is most of my income added with, rent and bills. So, yeah, I'm basically stuck here. I can't even foresee what's going to happen in the future, because there's literally no options. There's no options. And I have a 1% chance of this happening, my only hope is that my Social Security disability appeal goes through. Which it could, because it's my second try and I have a lawyer this time. And if that does happen, that will save me. But it probably won't happen because most people that have autism don't get disability very easily. I mean, I think some of them that have it, they fought a long time, which, I'm gonna have to do because that's my only hope. So, yeah, there's that. And then I also wanted to talk about, I mentioned briefly in there that, my brain just died. What was I just saying? I was saying something that I was going to lead into another subject. Okay, my options. I went online, which is pretty much how I connect with the world, and I asked everybody. I even asked my therapist, I even asked my arms worker on what I could do about my situation. I said, here's the problem. I can't afford to be on rental assistance, but I'm living in a place that's probably going to fall apart and collapse any day now. And I was met with, and this led to a complete and total breakdown. I was told that my therapist said, well, why don't you just, spend some time in nature and go for walks? Go for a walk. seriously? That's what she told me. I'm like, seriously? Why do I even go to therapy? I spend time in nature all the time. I sit in the sun every morning. I spin my hula hoop in my yard every night. I go camping. I go to music festivals. And she's telling me to go for a walk. That's her advice. Therapy is useless for autistic people because this is what they tell you. So then she also said, hopefully your arms worker will be able to come up with some solutions for you. Okay, so the arms worker comes over, we have our session. She agreed with me that this is a tight spot that I'm in, and she didn't know what I should do. She had no new suggestions for me. She did not know of any programs that could help me, of any sort of help that I could apply for. I'm basically already doing what I can, which is not enough, apparently. There's got to be other people out there that are in serious debt, that can't afford rent, that don't have a safe place to live, and don't have any support. But apparently not. I don't know. She had no clue what to do with me. She said, well, you're just going to have to decide make a decision, whichever one is the least bad. And then I'm like, the least bad. Okay. So my options are to go in debt, to hire an inspector, to risk being homeless, and then to maybe get into a place that I can't afford anyway, where they'll just kick me out because I can't afford it. Those are my options. Or stay here and rot in this place that's falling apart. So those are my two options. And so I'm basically just going to stay here then, I guess. It seems like the better of the options, because either way I'm going to end up homeless. I'm going to end up homeless no matter what. Unless I can get my Social Security disability to go through. So in order to do that, I need to wait for that. And I figured if I'm waiting anyway, I might as well stay here, because if I get that, then my income will be different, and then I should be able to afford being on rental assistance. So I guess in the end, I'm just waiting. Again, I'm waiting more time. You know, and here's the other thing. I was on these lists. I'm still on 2 other waiting lists for Section 8 housing. And none of them, not a single one, has told me that you do not qualify if you live in a place, if you own a place that you're already living in. None of them have told me this. So, like, I wasted the last 9 months on this list thinking that I was going to be able to get this when I'm really not, because I live here already. Unless I can prove that it's unlivable, which is, yeah, so, like, I'm going in circles here, and it's just... So this leads me to, I was asking online people. Since my therapist couldn't help me, my arms worker couldn't help me, I went on some forums, which... You know, I've been doing this for decades. Autistic people do not connect with people in real life very easily. I have always been gravitated towards the internet, because that's where I can find people that are like me, that understand, and maybe some more professionals that have more solutions for my problems. So I've been going on this one forum for like 15, 20 years. It's my favorite forum. So I went on there, I asked them, what do I do when I can't afford to be on rental assistance, and there's no other options for me, and I can't work, I'm in debt, I'm single, so that means I have no support, I don't have kids, which means I don't get the support that, you know, most parents would get. I'm basically like I'm an island, I'm just floating in the middle of the ocean, and there's waves hitting me everywhere. And I literally have no lifeboat. You know, what are my options? And I told them about the autism. I told them about the depression, the anxiety, all of the things. In fact, well, I'll get to that too. So, yeah, I asked, and it was an absolute nightmare. It was an absolute nightmare that led me to, like, another mental breakdown. I lost faith in humanity. I lost hope in my life. Because what happened was, everybody said, you know, the typical stuff that normal people say, that neurotypical people will say to an autistic or someone who's not neurodivergent or neurotypical. You know, we all struggle with that. You just have to deal with it. You just have to take responsibility. You just have to, get a roommate or get a job. All of the typical things that people will say that people should do. And then, okay, so I took each suggestion and I said, well, here's where I can't do this. I've already done this, it didn't work. I basically went down each response and I told them, I can't do this because of this reason. I can't do this because of, and I gave valid reasons why they wouldn't work. I did that before. I've been doing that this whole time, and that's why I'm in this problem. That's why I'm in this situation, because I already tried that and it didn't work. And this is what happens when you do that. And they just didn't listen to me. They said that I was arguing with them, even though I was literally just responding, and I was giving them, valid reasons why their suggestions were not working for me. And then they all started to talk amongst each other, saying things like, why are you even responding to her? She's not going to listen to you. She does not want the help. And sooner or later, the moderator comes along and closes the thread and basically does not allow anyone to respond. So I couldn't even catch up with all the responses. So then I went on some, I got really upset. It bothered me so much because they did not understand. They were completely being assholes. It was literally like grade school all over again on the playground, And one person even said, I don't believe you have autism. What are your symptoms? Okay. So I went and I made a list of like 30 of my symptoms, which are really just traits. They're not symptoms. They're autistic traits. So I made this list and I posted it, and I never got a chance to see what they said or respond because the thread got closed. So then, I'm like, why do I even try? Why do I even try to get help? I ask my therapist, she tells me to go for a walk. I ask my arms worker, she tells me she has no solutions for me. I just have to make a bad decision. Pick the best bad decision. I went online and I asked, this forum is huge. It's one of the biggest forums out there. And I thought, you cast a wide net, you get more fish. So I thought, out of all these people that I'm asking, hundreds of thousands of people, somebody will have something for me. But nope, they all turned into jerks and basically ganged up on me and told me they wouldn't listen to me, did not understand my problem. So I just completely lost all faith in the system. This is really a anti-system rant, this video, because it led me to the knowledge that it's a fact that this country, America, I'm in the US, does not care about its mentally ill people. It just doesn't. I have been trying. I've been trying to get help everywhere that I can get help. I've been trying to get support everywhere that I can get support. And it's like jumping through hoops and then, stressing yourself out mentally, filling out all this paperwork, getting the runaround, getting treated like crap, not being told things until the last minute. And then it's all for nothing. Because here I am, still struggling with no hope in sight other than hopefully the SSDI will come through. But, I hope the lawyer works because that's my only hope. So, I'm just sitting there going, who do I talk to? My friends don't support me. Strangers don't support me. And my professionals that are supposed to help me are not helping. This is what it really looks. This is the reality of being autistic, of not being able to function in the world and trying to get the help and not getting the help. And also, not even just that, but like, I can't find anybody that understands. You guys understand because you guys are autistic, most of you watching. So you know, and here's the other thing, like, I know a lot of you have jobs and can support yourself and don't struggle with being an adult. But that's not common. That's the minority. Most autistic people, I just looked up the statistic and I think it's now up to 85%. 85% of autistic adults don't work. They either can't work, they are already on disability, they're trying to work but they're struggling, which is where I was for 35 years. It's a statistic. Why is nobody talking about this? And I just watched another video today from another autistic YouTuber that said the same thing. He's like, most autistic adults, the vast majority of them, struggle with work. Why is this not being talked about more? And it might be, it's just that, why is nothing happening? You know, yeah, we're on the list of disability, but that doesn't mean it's easy to get. That just means you can get it. It doesn't mean it's easy. It's a struggle, and you know, they expect us to struggle. Well, they don't really, it's not that they expect us to struggle because they don't know how much we struggle. They expect us to fight for this, and the fight wears us down. Everybody knows that it's hard to get through life. Most autistic people struggle with daily living, and yet we are supposed to fight for ourselves because nobody else is fighting for us. Like, my lawyer is, apparently, but really all they do is the paperwork. They send the paperwork in, and I don't think they really do much. Like, my lawyer has never talked to me about what it's like in my daily life. They don't know the struggles. So, like, what are they going to be able to do? How is my lawyer supposed to advocate for me? I mean, yeah, I filled out the paperwork, but hopefully he understands the stuff I wrote down. Whatever, but yeah, so I went on a little tangent there. I was trying to talk about something, and I forgot what I was just talking about. Yeah, it's just hopeless. I just feel so hopeless. And every video that I make, I feel like is getting worse in that sense. I remember making one video not too long ago where I was, you know, it was Autistic Pride Day, and I'm like, I am not feeling the pride right now. I feel like beaten down by society. Society does not care. Here's the other thing, like, this is one of the rants. Oh, yeah, I made another post, stupidly, on this same forum, and I said, society does not care about the mentally ill. That was the title. Because it doesn't. So I went on there and I said, I've been asking for help on this forum, and my thread was closed. I wasn't even able to respond. They wouldn't let me continue the conversation. People were assholes to me. Why is this country so hard on its mentally ill? And 1 in 5 people are mentally ill, considering the fact that they consider that to be depression and anxiety. You know, 1 in 5 people has depression and anxiety. So many people have autism that don't know it. And, you know, this also includes bipolar disorder. This also includes schizophrenia. This also includes some other ones that I'm forgetting right now. But so many people have mental illness. And this country treats us like we are less than, like, you know, we're weak, we can't fight for ourselves, we can't support ourselves, so let's just push them aside and hope they just fade away. You know, let's just hope that somebody else takes care of them. They treat us like we're a burden. And so I made that rant, and what happened? Can you guess what happened? A few people responded, and I went on there, and I'm like, cool, they don't, maybe 1 or 2 people was being an asshole, but a couple other people said some alright things. So I went on there to respond, And I noticed that that thread got closed too, before I was even able to respond to anybody. So I'm the one that made the post. There was maybe 4 or 5 responses, and they closed the thread before I could even respond. So they're closing the thread based on just the topic, because I'm calling attention to the fact that this society hates mentally ill people and will not support us, will not help us. And that made me feel even worse. I'm like, seriously? I can't even express my thoughts? I can't even draw attention to this? How is the world going to get any better when we can't even fix the problems? One of the biggest problems in the country, probably the world, is mental health problems. I mean, think about it. If everybody was happy and healthy and able to thrive, we would not have as many problems in the world as we do. But, you know, the healthy, strong, mentally healthy people don't want that to happen. They don't want to help us. They want to ridicule us and judge us and misunderstand us and invalidate us while they continue to thrive, because they don't want, I don't know what it is. Do they not want to share their joy with us? They don't want us to share in, like, enjoying life? Why can't I enjoy life, you know? Why am I forced to choose whether or not I want to either be homeless or broke or mentally stressed out from a job? Not just stressed out, mentally destroyed. I'm not even going to say that a job is stressful. It's beyond stressful. I mean, that's what caused me to have to quit. It was autistic burnout, which autistic burnout is, I did an episode on this when I was making podcasts, videos. Autistic burnout is literally burning out because you are autistic. Because life is not designed for us. We can't handle it for extended periods of time. We can handle it for a short time, and I did, and I eventually reached a point where I couldn't anymore. It's a cumulative effect of stress. One day on a job is stressful, but 35 years on a stressful job is detrimental to your health. It just is. And that's funny. I was just watching this other video from this other YouTuber earlier, and he said the same thing. He said he does work, but he said that it takes everything that he has just to get through work. I mean, I think he's a little younger than me, so he's probably not quite reached the point where he needs to quit, but he basically said that work is the biggest struggle of his life, but he has to do it because otherwise he will not have a safe, private place to live. And that's another thing. You know, talking about home housing. People are like, why don't you just get a roommate and then you can split all your bills with somebody else? Okay, so rent is $1,500 a month for a couple bedroom apartment. That means that my share of rent would be, you know, $700, $800, and that's not counting the utilities. So then we're talking, $1,000, $1,100, $1,200, even with a roommate. I'm paying $345 right now, and I can't even afford that. So here's the other thing too. Like, this is where I was going with this, with the roommate thing. And this other YouTuber said it. No, wait, it wasn't him. It was somebody on that forum. I actually did make a friend on that forum from my post. They private messaged me because they could not answer the post since the post was closed. So this person on the private message said, I could have written all of this. I completely understand all of these problems I have. And this person said that living with somebody takes away our privacy. It takes away our peace, our safe space. Autistic people need a safe, private, what's the other one I was saying? Safe and private. God, I already forgot the word I was just saying. Space for them for their mental well-being, you know. They need to be alone. They need to have, peace. It needs to be peaceful. And you cannot have a safe, private, peaceful, personal space when you have a roommate. You just can't. I've tried it. I've done it. I've lived with my mom. I've lived with an ex-boyfriend. I've lived with my best friend. I've lived in the basement of a family. And every single example was the worst, some of the worst times of my life, because I couldn't sleep. I wasn't able to get the right amount of sleep. My digestive system was affected. I'm not going to go into detail with that, but I couldn't relax. I didn't have my safe private space to be alone and recover from the world. I was coming home from a job that made me want to die, and here I am, you know, surrounded by people. I can't even be alone, you know. And that's why living alone is so important for most autistic people, if not all. I'm going to just say all, because unless you are the kind of person that requires company all the time, but that's really rare. I have not heard of too many autistic people that need a person next to them all the time. I mean, I'm not saying that that doesn't happen, but I need my safe space where I can just have silence. There's not somebody banging dishes in the other room. There's not a dog barking. There's not car doors slamming. There's not footsteps on the ceiling. I just need that for my nervous system to recover. And so yeah, living with somebody is not an option. So yeah, I did have that person message me and say they felt the same, and it's really rare to find people that feel the same as you. So I feel like I'm at a half an hour now, so I could probably end this video. I've pretty much told you everything that is going on with me. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now. And I want to comment on the fact that since I don't make a lot of videos anymore, I don't log into this account. I've got like 5 YouTube channels, or 5 YouTube accounts. I do not check my messages. It's one of those things now where I hope you understand. That's all I gotta say, is I hope you understand, because I'm overwhelmed and I can barely function some days. So I don't check the comments, but I appreciate all the views. I appreciate all of the new subscribers. And if you are a new subscriber, thank you so much for subscribing. And I would suggest watching all the old videos, because that's really where I let out everything. You know, all of the information about autism that I have shared is all in those. I don't know any new information at this point now. I'm just trying to get through life, and it's a downward spiral, and I'm unable to continue the podcast episodes. I am unable to even work on my business anymore, my other business, and so my income is going down, and that's adding to it, but I can't. I'm hitting such a new level of burnout now that all I can say is I'm sorry, and I hope that you understand. So, I highly doubt that I'll be making any videos anytime soon, because I don't foresee my situation changing unless I get the Social Security disability. And then in that case, I'm going to be getting even more busy with, you know, then I can try to get into an apartment, and then I will have to pack everything up and move, and then my life will get insane. So, yeah, this might be my last video for a long time, unless I have something else to talk about, but I don't know what that would be. So thank you so much for your support, and I again apologize that I'm unable to be here more. So, alright, I'm gonna end this video now. Thank you so much for watching.